event. With over 2.1 million viewers watching, it should have been the league's moment to shine. But things didn't go as planned. Yes, Caitlin and Paige brought their A-game, but the real headline wasn't their scoring. It was the officiating. Referees were missing calls left and right, and this time, the media didn't stay silent. Broadcasters openly criticized the officiating live on air. Now, national outlets are putting pressure on the league and Commissioner Cathy Engelbert, sparking outrage that could finally lead to some long overdue accountability. In this video, I'm going to break down the fallout, clip by clip, and it gets intense. Engelbert, who previously downplayed concerns about refereeing, is now under serious scrutiny. Whether she's ready or not, change might finally be on the horizon. And hey, before we dive in, hit that like button. Each like is basically a symbolic replacement whistle for these refs who clearly need some new gear. Subscribe for the latest on Caitlin Clark and everything WNBA'd. Oh, and by the way, what exactly is Ryan Howard doing to Caitlin Clark in this clip? Let's take a closer look.
Can you tell me what kind of a move that Ryan Howard's doing here to Caitlin Clark? What is that move?
Referees have taken heavy criticism all season long, and for good reason. Sure, complaining about officials is practically a rite of passage for sports fans, but what's been going on in the WNBA this year is next level. The amount of holding, grabbing, and unchecked physicality has reached a breaking point, even compared to sports like hockey. What's worse is that it's happening to the league's biggest stars, especially Caitlin Clark. It's one thing to carry a franchise on your back. It's another to do it while being swarmed by defenders with no foul calls in sight. This issue hasn't gone unnoticed. Analysts and fans alike have been raising the alarm repeatedly, but the league has stayed silent. That is, until things escalated during the Fever versus Wings game. The officiating was so questionable that even the broadcasters had to speak out.
There's a grab, there's a hold, there's another grab. I mean,
all of those
for the ball.
There's a grab, there's a hold, there's a grab, there's a hold.
There's grabbing, there's holding. It's nonstop, and it quickly became the only thing anyone was talking about. Rebecca Lobo didn't hold back, calling out the officiating in full HD, live on national TV. Her breakdown felt less like commentary and more like grading a test from a student who clearly didn't prepare. Wrong, straight up failing. We need to have a serious talk. Might as well have been her next line. You could hear the frustration in her voice, pure disbelief at how low the standard has dropped. And she's not alone. Fans and commentators piled on immediately, pointing out how this has become a recurring theme in every single Fever game.
If you slow down the plays, if you watch the plays, you can see it happen in real time. Like, she is getting bumped, she is getting grabbed, she is getting hand checked throughout the entire game, and it continues to happen.
You can play physical, but play clean ball. We don't even get that in the W. We get dirty ball, foul, every single possession. Every single possession. If Caitlin Clark has the ball in her hands, she is getting hacked every single possession. And the referees need to start calling.
Even if you're not rooting for the Fever or particularly invested in Caitlin Clark, this problem goes far beyond one team or one player. It's a league-wide concern.
You know, it's very physical. I'm saying something to the ref, watch my landing space, watch physicality. I get laughed at.
And I got scratches on my face, got scratches on my body, and these guards on the other team get these ticky-tack fouls, and I'm sick of it.
I was in contact with a number of WNBA coaches yesterday about this topic of the officiating in the WNBA, and all of them said it needs to get better.
Things have reached a point where, according to Rebecca, coaches are now encouraging their players to be as aggressive as they want, because the odds of getting penalized are slim to none. That's not just a lapse in officiating. That points to something much deeper and more systemic. And just when you thought it couldn't get more revealing, Rebecca and her co-commentator, Ryan Ruocco, brought Paige Buchers into the conversation, making things even more interesting.
He said that Paige Buchers has come out and says she needs to relearn how to play defense while fouling more, because you can get away with everything with these referees. So basically, she had to relearn how to play defense while fouling. So, you know, everything you learn about defense, how to play while not fouling, how to move your feet, how to do all this. She had to throw out all the good defensive fundamentals that she'd learned and now she had to learn to go foul.
If this isn't proof that there's a major officiating crisis in the WNBA, I'm not sure what is. Paige Buchers has reportedly had to retrain herself on how to defend using more contact, essentially unlearning the fundamentals she picked up at UConn. And let's be real, it's not like she studied defense at some sketchy diploma mill. Bonus points if you caught that pop culture reference. But just when you think things can't spiral further, they absolutely do. In a recent matchup against the Sun, Caitlin Clark and the Fever were on the receiving end of the usual chaos. Elbows to the head, excessive body contact. Just another day in Indiana's season from Hell Point. Two major moments stood out. First, there was a sideline interaction where Caitlin appeared to be having a respectful back and forth with a ref. Then suddenly, she snapped, reportedly saying, "That has nothing to do with it. Are you freaking kidding me?" Now, given how composed she seemed seconds before, that outburst likely didn't come out of nowhere. It mirrors what Gabby Williams once mentioned, refs laughing off concerns, brushing players aside. So when Caitlin followed up by reportedly telling the ref to grow up and didn't get hit with a technical, that silence spoke volumes. It felt like even he knew he crossed a line, but the second moment was even more serious. Caitlin got hurt again. And what ignited the firestorm was a single post from her brother on X, formerly Twitter, who straight up blamed the officiating. That post wasn't the main course, though. It was just the warm-up. The real bombshell? The Washington Post dropped an article that didn't hold back. It absolutely tore into the WNBA's officiating standards and Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. And the opening line? Let's just say it pulled no punches.
The WNBA should change its logo to a bruise. That's the first line of this article. Forget that little silhouette of a woman rising for a shot. Just use Caitlin Clark's arm or leg with a purple discoloration. It's more fitting. Woo-wee. Shots fired.
The article completely dismantles the current state of WNBA officiating. To start, it highlights a staggering number, 141 reported injuries since the start of the season. That's out of just 179 active players, with only half the schedule completed. Let that sink in. Even more damning, the article doesn't sugarcoat it. It flat out says this is damaging the league's growth. Fans didn't sign up to watch stars get battered, and according to the piece, Commissioner Cathy Engelbert bears the blame for letting things get this far. Now, she's facing mounting pressure, largely because she's treated this escalating issue like background noise until now.
I do find it interesting when you sit in the chair I sit in that no winning team ever complains about officiating. No losing team ever doesn't complain about officiating. Cathy Engelbert, you sound like a moron. The Indiana Fever were complaining about the foul play that was going on with Caitlin Clark as they beat the Connecticut Sun. The Indiana Fever was going off about the refs with the whole Kennedy Carter situation as they beat the Chicago Sky. They won those games.
Hashtag. Sure, criticizing referees is practically tradition in hockey. Fans even boo them before the puck drops. But what Commissioner Cathy Engelbert seems to be missing is that this isn't just another case of sour grapes. It's something far deeper. This isn't about one player, one team, or who wins or loses. The way games are being officiated could genuinely put the future of the WNBA at risk. Right now, the league is enjoying unprecedented attention, largely because of Caitlin Clark. A surge of new fans is tuning in. They might be new to the WNBA, but they're not new to the sport. They can recognize a foul when they see one, and they definitely notice when the officiating is inconsistent or flat out bad. And what are they asking for? Nothing unreasonable. The same thing players and coaches have been asking for: fair, consistent officiating. No one wants to see games ruined by blown calls, especially when everything's on the line. Unfortunately, it's already happened on the biggest stage. Think back to Game 5 of the 2024 finals. With the championship up for grabs, a controversial phantom foul was called against the Lynx, giving the Liberty a chance to tie the game and eventually win it in overtime. Usually, coaches steer clear of slamming the officials. But what Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeves said afterwards spoke volumes.
And I know all the headlines will be Reeve cries foul. Bring it on, right? Bring it on. Because this shit was stolen from us. Bring it on. This shit ain't that hard. Officiating it's not that hard. When someone is being held, be consistent. If you don't want to hold it one, then don't call it the other. Be consistent. Every team asks for that.
There's no need to read between the lines. This was outright theft. The game and the championship slipped away because of poor officiating. Missed calls, inconsistent whistles. It wasn't just one moment, it was a pattern, and it didn't stop there. In a regular season matchup between the Fever and the Liberty, the same script played out. With the outcome hanging in the balance, refs made not one, but 3 highly questionable calls, or worse, failed to make calls at all. The result? New York took the lead, and Caitlin Clark never got a chance to tie or win the game. Meanwhile, certain star players like Aya Wilson seemed to benefit from a very different standard, getting away with contact and physicality that others would be called for instantly. Here's the reality. As much as fans adore Caitlin Clark, they're not going to keep watching her get mauled every game. And when she's out with another injury like she is now, those fans tune out. People won't rally behind a league that lets their favorite player take unnecessary hits game after game. That brings us to the heart of the issue. Bad officiating doesn't just ruin the game, it makes it dangerous. Physical play is part of basketball, sure. But when officials let things spiral out of control, players get hurt. We saw that firsthand when the Fever played the Sun. The refs lost control early. Caitlin took pokes to the eye, body checks that knocked her to the floor, and not a whistle in sight. That reckless environment led to Sophie Cunningham delivering a brutal hit to JC Sheldon. The moment exploded online, earning Sophie over 1 million new followers.
Why?
Because fans are tired of watching Caitlin get beat up with no accountability. And finally, someone fought back. Even more telling, Sophie's coach didn't scold her. He defended her actions after the game.
When the officials don't get control of the ball game, when they allow that stuff to happen, and it's been happening all season long. All season long. It's not just this game. It's been happening all season long. This is what happens, right? This is what happens. You've got competitive women who are the best in the world at what they do, right? And when you allow them to play physical and you allow these things to happen, they're going to compete. And they're going to have their teammates' backs.
The physicality is the root of the problem. When officials allow unchecked contact and players are free to play as rough as they want, injuries become inevitable. And this isn't just a chorus of Caitlin Clark fans venting online. Players across the league have spoken out. You've probably seen the clips. The frustration is real, and it's widespread. But let's bring it back to Caitlin for a moment, because, like it or not, the league's momentum is tied to her presence. Here's the reality. Caitlin Clark had never missed a game due to injury throughout her entire college and early pro career. Not one. So, what changed this season? She bulked up during the offseason.
Why?
Because she had to. She knew the kind of physicality she'd face, and with no help from the officials, she took matters into her own hands to protect herself.
But now?
She's been injured not once, not twice, but 3 times, enough to force her out of the lineup. There's a growing concern that this added muscle may have altered her mechanics, particularly in her legs, which are critical to her game. Especially for a player who relies so heavily on long-range shooting. And she's not alone. Others have already raised this exact concern. Now, Caitlin's out and missed what was supposed to be a showcase, the All-Star game, which felt noticeably flat without her. The situation has gotten so dire that even fans are stepping in and telling her to rest as long as it takes. First, to get fully healthy. But second, to send a message to the league. This is what happens when you don't protect your stars. This is where the WNBA is making a massive mistake. Supporters are now openly calling for her to skip the rest of the season. Some even want her to play overseas or launch a new league altogether. The frustration is that deep, and if Caitlin keeps sitting out, don't be surprised when TV networks and big sponsors start knocking on Cathy Engelbert's door, asking why the league's biggest draw is missing while no one seems to be fixing the problem.